need some advice.
My pleasure, son.
I'm getting married in 6 months. My fiancée and I have decided to wait till after we're married to,
That's an admirable goal.
But it's very hard to wait 6 months.
Yes, it is.
So I was wondering if there's any advice you could give me on how to wait that long.
Well, I've never waited 6 months myself, but I once knew a fellow who did.
Is he still alive?
Oh, he's alive and well to this day. Ward of the state, but alive. Fletcher McManus was a shortstop for the Cincinnati Reds. Started his hitting streak the fourth week in September 1911. Now, I mean no reproach when I say some ball players are superstitious, and Fletcher fell into that category. He was convinced that his abstinence from carnal delights kept his hitting streak going, so he kept abstaining. Unfortunately for all concerned, that streak continued up to season's end. And Fletcher figured that the only way to continue his streak into the next season was to continue his abstinence. No question, but that bothered his wife. Now, I know that for a fact because I had many long conversations with her about the problem. By opening day next season, he was wound tighter than a drum. Struck out 3 straight times. His fourth at bat, he hit a slow roller to second. It was a close play. Some say he beat the throw, but the umpire called him out. Poor Fletcher snapped. He jumped on the umpire and beat him to within an inch of his life. They carried Fletcher off in a straitjacket. It's not the most dignified way for a ball player to leave the field.
Good Lord.
Son, 6 months is...
Less than nothing compared to eternity. Because if you were to take every single grain of sand from every seashore on Earth and carry each grain one by one to the top of the highest mountain in the world, then climb down and return to get another grain of sand and another, one grain at a time, until you'd carried every grain of sand from every beach in the world to the top of that mountain, eternity would not yet have begun. It would be a horror beyond imagining to spend your eternity suffering the tortures of hell in exchange for a few moments of earthly pleasure.
I agree, Father. But it's not easy for me, my fiancé, to always remember that.
All the more reason for you to guard against being a cause of temptation to him, because a man's desires are stronger than a woman's.
I know how hard it is for me to... Well, how strong these...
Appetites.
are for me. And if they're stronger for my fiancé, then I almost feel sorry for him because I can't imagine any appetite could be stronger than mine.
Don't allow compassion for him to dull your judgment or weaken your resolve.
Well, how do I... Do you have any specific suggestions?
Concentrate on baseball.
Concentrate on preparing for the married life.
Play hard.
Pray hard.
Find a hobby.
Don't dress provocatively.
Don't look at her any more than you can help it.
Don't look at her?
Out of sight, out of mind. Which also means you should see each other as little as possible in order to...
Avoid the occasion of sin. And...
Don't set yourself up. You should spend...
very little time in each other's company.
And never, ever let yourselves be alone together.
Ginger, it is so kind of you to cover for me while I'm on my honeymoon.
Oh, I'm glad to help out, Mrs. Metcalf, soon to be Mrs. Klein.
Alice, here, I'll put these things in his car.
Oh, thanks, Amy. Wait. Then go over to the Gormans and pick up those folding chairs. We'll drop you off at Mrs. Senov's to borrow the car. Ginger, why don't you go with them?
No. The chairs are too heavy.
I would rather have another errand so that we could get everything done faster.
All right. Would it be too much trouble to pick up Mrs. Donahue's coffee urn?
No trouble at all.
Smile. And I'm gonna hang our first dollar right there next to the business license.
Oh, look out, John D. Rockefeller.
I wish my mother could have lived to see this day. She didn't even own her own body until Abraham Lincoln set her free. And now her grandson has his own business. I knew you could do anything you set your mind to, April Davis.
Not without Gloria, I couldn't.
Now, don't you start me to crying. We have enough to clean around here without my tears all over the floor.
Oh, I'm proud of you too, Robert. Your war record, you being the first Negro to work on the line at the Sloan factory. Oh, I thank the good Lord for letting me see this day, which doesn't mean I'm getting ready to leave here without seeing my great-grandchildren.
You just might do that.
What on earth are you talking about?
I met a fine woman, Mommy. You'd like her.
That's wonderful news.
How do you know I'll like her?
Because she reminds me of you.
Does he know how to butter up his mother?
I would love for you to meet her.
Well, ask her if your mother can cook something special.
I have to get her to America first.
Where on earth is she?
She's in Europe.
How'd she get there?
She's French.
You mean white?
I mean French. And white. Yes, ma'am.
What are you doing here?
I'm getting the folding chairs. What are you doing here?
I'm picking up the coffee urn.
I thought the coffee urn was over at Mrs. Donahue's.
Well, Mrs. Donahue loaned it to the church. I thought the chairs were over at Mrs. Gorman's.
Well, it turns out Miss Gorman didn't own any. She borrowed them from here. Do you want to handle that?
Oh, it's not heavy.
It's locked.
Oh, heavens to Betsy.
Well, I didn't do it on purpose. Father Dreyer's visiting the hospital. I passed his housekeeper coming in. She was headed out to go bowling.
Can you give me a hand, please? No, please don't touch me there. No, not there either. These windows are sealed shut.
Well, I could have told you that.
Why didn't you?
You didn't believe the door was locked. Why should...
We could be stuck in here all night.
Let's finish before she gets home.
Caroline will love new dress.
I hope so. She deserves something nice. She's had it rough lately. The lockout and the strike, and even coming to America. You know about that.
It looks expensive.
It is expensive.
You're very generous, Charlie.
It's cheaper than a house, though, which we won't be able to afford for a couple of years at least.
Okay, fine by me. We'll still be neighbors.
292 Somalians.
Somalians?
Ain't nothing. Let's hurry.
You're a good husband, Charlie. Very kind.
This is still in good shape. You want it?
Ah, yes, please, thank you. It's very nice.
Where should I put it?
By the bed. Oh, hello. What's a Liz? Charlie? Caroline home. It's a present from Charlie.
How lovely.
I say so, you like it.
Gina helped me transfer your things.
Everything's in already? Well, thank you, Gina. Thank you very much, Charlie.
I figured it's the least I can do until we save enough to put a down payment on a house.
Everything's so neat, I feel as if a maid's come and gone.
It'd be nice to be able to afford a maid.
So, what did you do with the other chest?
In my room. Charlie gave it to me.
Oh, wonderful. So we both got gifts. What does it look like in your room?
I have not yet to see.
you want it moved, say the word.
Oh, it looks wonderful here. I would keep some of my sewing things inside.
Is that the baby?
No, Emma's still sleeping.
Must have been my imagination. Come have a bite with us while Emma's still asleep. I'm famished.
Okay, fine.
So, what do you think?
It's perfect. Thank you very much. And Caroline, it's okay with you?
Of course it is. Charlie, hurry up. We're starving.
I'm still a little chilly. Thank you.
Molasses nut squares sound good. What are the ingredients?
I start with a 1/4 cup shortening.
Shortening. Seems there's shortening in all your recipes.
Well, salt, sugar, shortening, and flour, the heart of every modern pantry.
Is that so?
I read that. I've been trying to concentrate on getting ready for married life so as not to concentrate on other parts of married life. It was Father Dreyer's suggestion.
I've been concentrating on baseball for the same reason. Coach's suggestion.
How about that no-hitter Feller pitched when so many people said the war had taken the sting out of his fastball? The way he was mowing down those Yankees, all he needed was Hayes' homer. Do you wish you had hit it?
As long as we won. I love it when you talk baseball.
That's why I do it.
Well.
We were locked in, Father.
Uh-huh.
I guess it's providential I came along.
Yes, Father.
Yes, Father.
Woman, I don't know by what method or madness that you've come to the conclusion that it's just fine for our son to hop a freighter for Europe. How many times have I heard you warn him about this or that or some other thing? You were worried about him going into the army. You were worried about him working for the Sloans at the plant. You were worried about him joining the union. Now, all of a sudden, he's going back overseas to search out some white woman, and you don't even try to stop him. What's come over you?
Nothing's come over me.
Well, maybe my eyes are deceiving me, but you sure look calm to me.
And you sure look agitated.
Why aren't you the first one to try to warn him the way you try to warn him on everything?
How can I warn somebody not to fall in love?
You could tell him that what he's doing is dangerous.
Falling in love is always dangerous.
He can't bring a white woman back here.
Do you remember this?
Of course I remembered. I gave it to you, but what?
When?
Before we got married. Gloria.
I was crying my eyes out because your mother made it perfectly clear that her son was going to marry himself a high yellow wife. And I...
Oh, no!
You know it's true. And I definitely did not qualify. But right in front of her, you kissed my ebony cheek, and you gave me this. And that night you proposed.
That's not the same.
It is the same, Abel. You and I, neither one of us planned this for Robert. We never imagined that this would or could happen. And Lord knows I am scared out of my wits to think what might happen if he tries to bring her back here. But if we spent 25 years telling that boy to look past color, to see people and not skin, and then he goes and does it and finds some young lady, French or Eskimo or whatever, who does the same, then How can we take back everything that we've said? Now, lock that door.
What?
Lock the door.
Two beers? One for my buddy here.
Your buddy needs coffee, not beer.
She is the most peculiar bartender.
We'll take the beers, miss. Long time no see.
Ah, what are you talking about? We see each other all the time. Picket lines, funerals.
How you holding up?
Right as rain.
You should come to dinner some night.
Dinner?
In fact, now that everything's settled, why not start up the poker game again?
Why the hell not?
That's the spirit. Let bygones be
Be
bygones.
gone by.
The sooner the better. I hate that yelling and bargaining and nickel and diming, second-guessing each other, snooping, and such. By the way, who's your fink?
We didn't have a fink. You had a fink.
You had the fink we had a spy and you found him out. So, who's your fink?
We all heard the same rumors.
About Linda?
Linda would shoot herself before she would rat on the precious union.
All I meant was I thought that was the rumor you were referring to.
No, talking about your wife. Everybody said that, but everybody says everything during a strike.
You heard that from the Sloans?
Yeah, I think it was Sam.
Yeah, Sam would say anything to get back at me. I'll be out in a minute.
It's not necessary.
I'm through.
I hear a noise. I come see everything okay.
Bye. Good night.
No, you stay. I go. Something is the matter? You're sick?
No. I'm stupid. I'm stupid for falling in love with Caroline. I'm stupid for believing a word that ever came out of her mouth. She was the fink, Gina. She was the fink for management.
You're sure?
She lies so much. That's where she got the money, Gina. She didn't get the money from her mother. I met her mother. That family doesn't have a penny. She took money from the Sloans to rat on us.
I'm sure she not mean to bring you harm.
I'm not so sure. Who cares?
had difficulty times in the war.
Well, who didn't? I didn't. You didn't? I would never do what she did. You would never do what she does.
Maybe she's afraid.
Of what?
She's afraid to be poor again. Or to be hungry again.
You can stop defending her. She made me out to be a sap.
What is sap?
It's when you're stupid.
Not being stupid, Charlie. Being in love.
I was stupid for being in love with her.
What are you doing?
Exactly what it looks like I'm doing.
Where are you going?
Anywhere that you're not.
You've lost your senses.
I found your bank book.
I've been putting money aside to save for a house. I wanted to surprise you.
Well, you sure did. Surprised the hell out of me. Knocked the wind out of my sails to find out that you're a fink, too.
That's a bloody lie.
Shut your yap! I'm not telling anyone. So they'd string you up and me right along with you. I am a sap forever trusting you. Find yourself another sucker.
Your chariot awaits.
Well, come on, Mom.
You look lovely, almost, Mrs. Khan.
Thank you, Mr. Khan. Hey, what's that?
Congratulations and best wishes for a long, happy marriage, Charlie.
What a sweet sentiment.
What an odd gift.
It's lovely, and it's a thought
that counts.
Shall we? Is Hank?
Hush, yes.
Sorry to keep you waiting.
Wow, he didn't.
Why are you wearing your uniform?
So now you want to prove to the world you didn't get flabby a year out of uniform.
Well, it's been a whole year.
Feels like 10.
It fits you like a glove. And you look beautiful in it. And I'm glad you wore it. And I'm proud of it as you are.
Spoken like a true mother. And how did you get time off for this wedding?
Oh, haven't you heard? We have a union now.
No.
Yes.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
And good morning to you, Mr. Khan.
Good morning, Hank. Shall we?
I'm gonna ride the bike, if that's okay.
Your bike?
Well, there's plenty of room.
It's fine. We'll meet you at the church.
Well, fine. There's more room for my hat.
Slide it over before I sit.
Watch it. What is this? Right on your shirt?
Let me see.
Is it? No.
Oh, it's fine. Oh, are the flowers
Mother,
there?
everything is taken care of.
Anne, we were going to start 20 minutes ago.
I'm sorry, Father. We're just waiting for my eldest son.
I've got a baptism in an hour.
I'm sure he'll be here any minute.
Let me know as soon as he arrives.
Maybe he changed his mind.
Jeff, take the car and go look for Hank.
How will I know which way he came?
If he's not on Johnny Cake Ridge or Chillicothe, come back and we'll start without him.
take this for emergencies.
Dad, you need that.
Take it. Put it in your sock.
Take these.
I got hankies, Mom.
You say that now, and you never have enough when you need them.
Oh, now don't cry.
Who says I'm crying? You listen to me, young man. You are going over there with our blessing. You have some problem, you wire us.
I won't need any.
You have second thoughts, you come back and have those thoughts here. We don't need you sitting around some strange country, keeping us worrying.
I'll be fine.
You do as your mother says, or she'll swim over there and get you.
You damn right I will.
I'll let you know if there's a problem.
First time I ever heard you use that word.
There's a first time for everything, isn't there?
Hank! Hey.
What are you doing here, Jeff?
Well, I was just about to ask you the same question.
Thought I might do some fishing like we used to.
Well, I don't think there are any fish left. The Sloan plant had to discharge during the war upstream.
Well, that figures.
Fish should be back someday.
The eternal optimist.
Hank, I wish everything could be the way it was before the war, but I don't think it ever works that way.
Not just an optimist, but a philosopher, too.
You have to admit, even if there hadn't been a war, things would have changed.
Don't I know? You were just a skinny runt when I went overseas.
Coming back, well, I know a lot of the vets never talk about the war, but I know that doesn't mean they don't think about it. I guess that's perfectly understandable after everything you went through overseas. You expected life to be hunky-dory once you got back home, and it wasn't. In a lot of ways, it's pretty damn lousy. But I don't see what good more people dying is going to do. Yeah, I still miss Dad. I always will. I miss Sarah, maybe not as much as you do. You're tired of everything going wrong? Well, I'm tired of missing people. I don't want to have to miss you, too. Do you remember why we came up here when you first got back? Sarah was having second thoughts, and nothing else was the way you planned it or remember it. And the final straw was when you found out Rupert shut down. You couldn't even get a chicken fried steak. You remember? Hank, you remember that? Well, I heard Rupert's just reopened.
Rupert.
You can get all the chicken fried steak you want, I guess.
Rupert's reopened.
It's something, I guess, huh?
Rupert's reopened.
find
He
him?
was up at Kirk.
Is he coming?
How could you doubt it?
Al, wilt thou take Anne, here present, for thy lawful wife, according to the rite of our Holy Mother, the Church?
I will.
Anne, wilt thou take Al, here present, for thy lawful husband, according to the rite of our Holy Mother, the Church?
I will.
I'm no small-time jerk. I had to be the biggest jerk in the state.
Sounds like you still love her.
Sounds like you got bad hearing.
It's a bartender's job to say you'll get over her.
Oh, yeah? This customer wants to know when.
When you meet somebody who'll take your mind off your troubles.
Hello?
Yes?
Abe.
All right.
Excuse me, Abe. I heard this place was opening up again.
It is, Gloria.
Hello, Hank.
You both work here?
I imagine we'll be working our fingers to the bone.
We own the place.
Oh, well.
We'll be open in a few weeks.
Just on the weekends at first.
Oh, well, that's fine by me. I've been waiting almost 4 years to have a chicken fried steak here. I guess I can wait a little while longer.
We don't have chicken fried steak on the menu.
But Rupert's always had it.
We can't afford to have beef on the menu yet.
No chicken fried steak.
My wife makes a great peach cobbler.
I just made some, testing out the oven.
Come on in, try it, please.
Oh, no, I don't want to be a bother.
No, it would be no bother. Come on in. It'll be on the house.
Oh, you have to let me pay.
I couldn't.
Yes, you could. This is a business.
Abe.
It'll be my privilege to be your first paying customer.
After all we've been through this year, we deserve a vacation.
I couldn't agree more, which is why I bought
Tickets to Havana? But it's out of season now.
a little rum and Coca-Cola, and who will notice?
Well, I will notice. The heat and the humidity and the doldrums and all the best floor shows shut down. But thank you, Michael. It was a sweet gesture. I had the same impulse. I've booked passage.
To Europe.
La Belle France, destination Paris.
I hate the way the frogs treat you when you don't speak their language.
Things are different now. We save their country.
Things will be different in France when hell freezes over.
Michael, they're desperate for American dollars. We'll eat in the finest restaurants for song.
We'll eat snails and brains and rabbits, for heaven's sakes, and be treated rudely for the privilege of overpaying. No, thank you.
Let's just stay home.
No one said stay home. We've simply ruled out Havana and Paris. I suggest the Grand Canyon.
Is there a single good restaurant there?
Oh, Ruth.
Well, it's supposed to be a vacation for both of us, and my idea of a vacation is not watching you descend, possibly to your death, seated on a burro, and then waiting for you to return without even the consolation of a good restaurant. Let's take a cruise. Caribbean?
All right, fine. If you can tell me where we can find a civilian passenger ship. Or if you can explain to me what is the point of being cooped up in a closet of a bedroom and sailing around in a circle for weeks on end and being forced to eat whatever they happen to have on board and being forced to go where they want to go. How about Cedar Point?
Oh, honestly.
I'm serious, Ruth. We could rent the same room we had before our wedding and...
Please. I go to Cedar Point for picnics, not vacations. New York?
No.
Well, it's not the Ritz.
It's not as expensive.
We didn't have to drive very far.
That was a blessing.
I am a lucky man.
Ah.
Oh.
How did you afford this?
I couldn't. Oh.
Cookies? Cookies? You give me cookies on our wedding night?
Joke.
Give me back the
It's a
watch.
joke.
Give it to me.
You
Give
never
it
gave
here.
up the cookies. What's the
Give
matter? You
it-
can't take a joke? Where's your romantic side?
You call that
Where's
romantic?
your
I'm
sense of
taking the
humor?
watch back.
You're not
Yes, I
very
am.
good.
Here, give it to
The
me.
ginger snap.
No, you're talking to Mrs. Khan now.
No, give me that.
Oh, I didn't hear you knock.
Nobody answered the door. Do you mind?
No, of course not. What's the matter?
There's something wrong with me. I think deep down inside I'm a man.
I don't think that's something you should worry about.
Why else would I be all the time thinking about one thing and one thing only? That's what men do.
I don't think about only just one thing.
Most of the time you do.
Yeah, a lot of the time, but say just because I think of other things once in a while doesn't mean I'm a woman.
It isn't fair that we have all these...
Coach calls them urges.
Father calls them appetites. And why would we have them if we weren't supposed to do anything about it?
I don't think I'm the right person to ask, and I don't want you to think that I'm pushing you into anything because I'm not.
Every time you say that, it makes my appetite bigger.
It does. Well, I mean it. I don't want you to think I'm pushing you, because I'm not. I don't want you to think I'm pushing, because I'm not.
Stop it.
I don't want you to think I'm pushing you even a little bit.
You are evil.
The heat is off, Ginger. I don't want you to think I'm pushing you, because that would be the wrong interpretation of events here. I'm not pushing. No pressure at all. No pressure whatsoever at all.
Why would God give us these appetites?
Urges.
He didn't want us to do anything about them. It isn't fair, is it?
No. It's not fair, is it?
I wish we knew how your mother talked Father Dreyer into an early wedding. He said it had to be an emergency. What could she have done to persuade him?
What's the matter?
Don't tell me.
Never ever tell a soul.
Oh, my word.
Ginger.
Yeah.
Don't worry, it won't happen to us. We have protection.
Please tell me you didn't buy that at Brad Stater's.
No, yeah, of course. I went up to my mother and said, Mother, I'd like to buy one. No, I didn't.
Why didn't your mother and Al use one? I mean, they're older. They know better.
I can tell you why Mom would never use one of these. Buying one of these would mean, besides thinking about it, they were planning to go ahead with it. So deciding to go ahead with it would be just as sinful as doing it is. So besides the sins of thinking about going all the way and planning to go all the way, there'd be the sin of using artificial means of birth control. Well, that would be 4 sins instead of just the one, which they would just have if they spontaneously, so to speak, went ahead with it. See?
4 sins. Huh? All mortal. Why did you have to bring this up?
Good Lord.
Been a long time since I closed down a bar.
Where do you plan to spend the night?
I ain't thought about it.
Well, you could stay at a hotel, but they're expensive and impersonal. You could call a friend, but then, from what I've seen, you and your best friend don't get along any better than you and your wife do. You have relatives around here?
No.
Then I feel honor bound to put you up at my place.
Thanks, but I couldn't take you up on that. For fear of what might happen to your reputation.
Mr. Haley.
Charlie.
We don't know each other well enough for me to call you Charlie, Mr. Haley. But if we do get to know each other better, you'll find out that the only opinion that matters one whit to me is my opinion of myself. I'd have a pretty low opinion of me if I turned a nice fellow like yourself out into the streets. Besides, you look like you could use some cheering up. Which I can surely sympathize with because I haven't been all that happy myself lately. With a streak of bad luck that shouldn't have been visited on anyone. So I could use some cheering up myself, and maybe the two of us back at my place will be able to cheer up each other.
Feeling cheered up already. You got another customer.
Shh. You're not in spring training, are you?
No.
You don't have a coach, do you?
No.
Then I don't have a customer.
I can't concentrate. Let me send him packing.
It's my experience. It's best not to open the door after hours.
Take a hike, buddy. Gina.
I find you eventually.
Good Lord.
What are you doing out so late?
I worried about you.